Now we will broadcast for you the news in English on Radio Free Syria.
Welcome to our news hour in English. I am Marwan Kadro and I will be with you during this news hour from Radio Free Syria. We will start with the local coordination committees. By the end of Tuesday, the LCC managed to document 154 marchers, including 7 women, 8 children, and 5 marchers on the torture, and 24 from the Free Syrian Army. 48 marches were reported in Damascus and its suburbs, 23 in Aleppo, 22 in Dar'a, 16 in Quneitra, 13 in Idlib, 12 in Deir ez-Zor, 11 in the province of Hama, 8 in Homs, and 1 in Latakia. The Free Syrian Army clashed with the regime forces in 126 locations. The FSA targeted a plane loaded with ammunition shipment that was flying over the bricks factory in Idlib. Some Alawite soldiers defected and joined the Free Syrian Army there. The FSA liberated the checkpoint located at the entrance of Busra al-Harir and seized the weapons and ammunitions that were stored there. They also attacked the regime reinforcement battalion stationed in the town. In Homs, Colonel Ali al-Radi, director of Palmyra area, defected from the regime's army. The FSA liberated the checkpoint in Tel al-Nabi Mando, killing and capturing several regime soldiers and destroying several regime military vehicles. In Palmyra, the FSA repelled the attempts of the regime forces to storm the orchards of the city, where the FSA targeted regime checkpoints near to military prison. Wail Hotel and Shabiha in Qusair, the FSA liberated Na'amat checkpoints and seized all ammunition and weapons stored there. In Qalamun, in Damascus suburbs, the FSA targeted the 61st Regiment and the 80th Brigade using mortars. In Harasta, the FSA targeted the Air Force Security Branch. Moving to Quneitra, the FSA stormed the locations of the regime's artillery battalion stations in Ain Tina. In Aleppo, the FSA repelled the attempts of regime forces to storm Rashidin neighborhood and killed more than 20 regime forces agents. In Salamiya, in the province of Hama, the FSA liberated the detainees and captured several agents of the Air Force Security. General news now. According to Al Jazeera, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has appealed to the leaders of a 5-nation economic forum meeting in South Africa to help end his country's 2-year-old conflict. The embattled and increasingly isolated president said on Wednesday that his country is being subjected to acts of terrorism backed by Arab, regional, and Western nations, a reference to the Western-backed opposition fighting his regime. Assad's appeal came in a letter sent to a forum of BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, whose leaders have gathered for a summit in Johannesburg. The president's letter was published by Syria's state media on Wednesday. It came a day after the Arab League allowed opposition leader Muaz al-Khatib to fill Syria's vacant seat at the organization's annual summit in Doha, the Qatari capital. Syrian membership to the 22-member league was suspended in November 2011 in response to the government's bloody crackdown on the opposition. Tainted oil and money. Syrian government on Wednesday vented its wrath at Qatar and the Arab League for handing its seat to the deformed Syrian National Coalition. The Emir of Qatar, the biggest bank for supporting terrorism in the region, began his presidency of the Arab League by hijacking it with tainted oil and money, said state news agency Sana. It said the league had compromised its values for the sake of Gulf Arab and Western interests. Iran has also criticized the Arab League decision. Assigning Syria's seat to the Arab League to those who don't have the backing of the people establishes a pattern of dangerous behavior for the Arab world that can set a new precedent for other members of the Arab League in the future, said Deputy Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdul Ilihan, Iran's student news agency reported on Tuesday. The summit endorsed the provision of military aid to Syrian rebels. A communique affirmed member states that had a right to offer assistance, including military, to support the steadfastness of the Syrian people and the Free Army. However, efforts aimed at reaching a political solution to the Syrian crisis are a priority, it added. Khatib, the head of the coalition, asks U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry for American forces to help defend rebel-controlled northern parts of Syria with Patriot surface-to-air missiles based in Turkey. NATO swiftly rebuffed the idea. According to Reuters, the refusal of international powers to provide Patriot missile support for rebel-held areas of the northern Syria sent a message to President Bashar al-Assad to do what you want, Syria opposition leader Muaz al-Khatib said on Wednesday. Al-Khatib, a popular figure in the opposition, also said he would not resign his resignation as leader of the main anti-Assad alliance, but he would still perform leadership duties for the time being. NATO said on Tuesday it had no intention of intervening militarily in Syria after al-Khatib said he had asked the United States to use Patriot missiles to protect rebel-held areas from Assad's air power. Yesterday, I was really surprised by the comment issued from the White House that it was not possible to increase the range of the Patriot missiles to protect the Syrian people, al-Khatib told Reuters in an interview. I'm scared that this will be a message to the Syrian regime telling it, do what you want. Asked about his resignation on Sunday as leader of the rebel coalition, which he has said he was motivated mainly by frustration at Western reluctance to increase support for the opposition, he said, I have given my resignation and I have not withdrawn it, but I have to continue my duties until the General Committee meets. Al-Khatib took Syria's vacant seat at the Arab League summit in Qatar on Tuesday, deepening the Assad government's diplomatic isolation 2 years into a conflict that has cost an estimated 70,000 lives. The 22-nation league lent its support to giving military aid to the Syrian rebels, and the summit communique also offered some of its sternest league yet against Assad, affirming member states had a right to offer help. But Tuesday's proceedings offered no clarity on al-Khatib's position in the leadership, a question central to Arab and Western offers to shore up the political credibility of the opposition and heighten pressure on Assad and his inner circle. In his remarks to Reuters, al-Khatib sought to portray himself as a conciliatory figure, declining to be drawn on his next political moves. Asked whether he would withdraw his resignation, he replied, "This is the situation as it stands." He said that until the coalition meets, he would focus on narrowing differences and building a bridge between the factions in the opposition. Opposition rifts are many. They include rivalry between liberals and various sorts of Islamists, between exiles and groups that operate within Syria, and between those seeking a political settlement and those who insist an armed campaign is the only solution. Those divisions are reflected among Arab states, which agree on little other than their professed abhorrence of the bloodshed caused by increasingly sectarian conflict. Al-Khatib's decision to quit, which he blamed on the world's failure to back the armed revolt, also appeared to be motivated by internal disputes in the alliance. It undermined the alliance's claim to provide a coherent alternative to Assad. Liberals saw it as a protest against what they view as the rising influence of hardline Islamists in the Qatari-backed umbrella group set up in Doha in November. On Wednesday, al-Khatib indicated irritation with the offers of outside powers to influence the course of the rebellion. This is a game that the Syrian people are now used to. They say, do this and we'll help you. Do that and we'll help you, he said without naming individual countries. But he also sought to pay down internal differences within the coalition. The most distinguished parliaments in the world have differing points of view. That's normal. There are lots of different points of view. We have already come up against some obstacles and we have overcome them. This was it for today. Thank you very much for listening. I am وموقعنا, along with me, Executive Manager Islam. Please follow us on freesyriaradio.webs.com. You can also reach us through Skype on Syrian342. See you tomorrow.
now we will broadcast for you the news in English on Radio Free Syria.